In a quiet village, surrounded by misty mountains, lived a young boy named Sam. Known for his gentle nature and curious mind, Sam was well liked by everyone. But despite his calm demeanor, he often found himself battling a fierce enemy: negative thoughts. Every time he faced a challenge or made a mistake, these thoughts would creep into his mind, whispering words of self-doubt. You're not good enough, or you'll never succeed. Sam tried to ignore them, but they always seemed to grow louder, leaving him feeling discouraged. One day, after a particularly frustrating afternoon trying to master a new skill, Sam decided he had had enough. He sought the advice of Eli, a wise old man who lived on the outskirts of the village. Eli had a reputation for helping others find their way through life's storms. When Sam arrived at Eli's home, the old man welcomed him with a warm smile and led him to a quiet garden filled with the scent of jasmine. After listening to Sam's troubles, Eli nodded thoughtfully. "Ah, those negative thoughts," Eli said with a twinkle in his eye. "They are like unwelcome guests that show up at your door. You can't stop them from knocking, but you don't have to invite them in for tea." Sam looked puzzled. "But they're so loud, Eli. How can I stop them from taking over my mind?" Eli leaned on his cane and motioned for Sam to follow him to a small pond at the edge of the garden. "Look into the water," Eli instructed. "What do you see?" "I see my reflection," Sam replied. Eli smiled. "Now, throw a pebble into the water." Sam did as he was told, and ripples spread across the pond, distorting his reflection. "Negative thoughts are like those ripples," Eli explained. "When you let them in, they disturb your mind, just as the pebble disturbs the water. But if you wait and don't react, the ripples will fade, and your mind will become clear again." Sam listened intently, feeling a spark of hope. But how do I ignore those thoughts when they feel so real? Eli walked over to a tree and picked a bright, fragrant flower. Handing it to Sam, he said, "When those thoughts come knocking, don't fight them directly. Instead, choose to focus on something beautiful, something that brings you joy. It could be a happy memory, a goal you're working towards, or even the scent of this flower." Sam took the flower and inhaled deeply, feeling a calmness wash over him. For the first time, he understood. He didn't have to fight the negative thoughts head on. Instead, he could redirect his mind to something more positive. Eli continued, "Whenever those thoughts arise, acknowledge them, but then gently shift your focus. Over time, they will lose their power." From that day forward, Sam practiced Eli's advice. Whenever a negative thought tried to invade his mind, he would acknowledge it, take a deep breath, and focus on something uplifting. At first, it was hard, but slowly, he found it easier to let the negative thoughts pass without engaging with them. Eventually, Sam realized he had won the battle. The negative thoughts still came knocking from time to time, but now, he knew they were nothing more than fleeting clouds passing across the sky of his mind. And just like clouds, they would always drift away, leaving the sky clear and bright once more. With a newfound sense of peace, Sam continued to grow and learn, no longer held back by the shadows of his thoughts. And every now and then, he would visit Eli's garden to remind himself that with the right focus, even the stormiest of minds can find calm waters once again.